Alrighty, everyone, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and watch some gameplay here. We have myself playing the Fire Ride deck that I posted before on the channel. This is it, game sort of match 2 of Yetis. We're going to go ahead and be facing a Fire Silvie list. Originally, I was not aware to begin with, and here we see a little bit of a botched dice roll as one of my dice apparently is rubbed off, and it doesn't have the 6 on it. I did end up winning the dice roll, so we are going to be going first into the matchup. And this is a matchup, like I said, I didn't know what I was going to be facing. I mean, I saw Sylvie playmat with Bedivere. I should say Bedivere more than Sylvie. I saw the Bedivere playmat. I'm like, okay, it could be a Sylvie player, could not be. There's too many things that could. People have mats for multiple things, so you never know. So we start off normal Spirit of Fire. We draw our 7 cards, and we go ahead. We're going to take a look, see what we have. And I think off the rip, we have a couple of arcane cards, which is usually good. And I think a creative shock, if not appear in the mana, just for the early plays. But we're going to go ahead and pass. So more likely I have the creative shock in the opening hand here. And our opponent's going to draw 7 as well. There's going to be a couple of times in this match where you're going to see a lot of just draw pass. Because that's what Fire does. We just create a shock at the end of turns. Let's get the maximum value we can out of it. But yeah, this is a matchup I think we're going to be pretty favored into. There's not too much worry about rushing or anything of the sorts into it. But it looks like our hand does have a Disintegrate, a couple of arcane cards here. So we're going to go ahead and grab a Create a Shock, and cast that, and draw 2 cards. See what we have off the top. And I don't think we have a good pitch target here. I think we'll go ahead and pitch a Careful Studies, if I'm not mistaken. As we go ahead and figure out what we want to ditch. But pretty sure our hand is Disintegrate, Period Mana, Careful Studies, and yeah, we have 2 Period Mana because we discarded 1. So we definitely have 2. We have a Disintegrate. We try and keep the Disintegrate because we never know which opponents are running Tithe Proc. I don't want to get rid of too many copies of those if possible. So we shuffle it up, have our opponent go ahead and pick 1 card from our memory. They're going to go ahead and pick number 2, the center one, and we're going to discard Arcane Sight, which isn't too bad of a hit. Granted, it's a +1 on average for ourselves, but it gets us our level anyway, so I'm not too worried. Go ahead and figure out what's resting in our hand. I think we put 4 down here for the Careful Studies. I don't think we have anything else to cast outside of the Disintegrate and Arcane cards. So the main reason we're doing the Pure and the Mana here is cast Pure, get ourselves up to 5 enlightened counters, and then we are going to pretty much put ourselves in a position to pretty much banish more Arcane in the upcoming turns. This is just because we have no other play in hand. Usually I try not to do Pure and the Mana too early, but sometimes it sets you up too well with enlightened counters. Our opponent's go ahead and do a Create a Shock of their own at the end of turn. Just Fire doing fire things. Ain't anything better than it. So they're going to go ahead and discard a Stalwart Shieldmate. So Stalwart Shieldmate is discarded. They have a floating memory in their grave, and they're going to go ahead and use it to level up the level 1 Sylvie. Set themselves up with, I think, a couple of beasts into their first turn and start pushing the damage as much as possible. So opponent recollects, draws for their turn. And at this time, we're sitting there thinking, okay, it is level 1 Sylvie, so there's not too much to worry about. There is a couple lists going around. This could be, I'm thinking about Dawn of Ashes Sylvie, Prismatic Sylvie. There's a couple different versions of Sylvie that could be going around. There's also the Vactus, however you pronounce the card. That's Terror overall. And yep, there comes the Bedivere coming down. Bedivere has Taunt because it's a +1 counter. And it's going to go ahead and swing at us for 2 damage. A little bit of a slow clock. Not too worried about the Taunt ability. Since we're Rye, we don't really attack into too many things, and our opponent knows it, so they're going to go ahead and get in the free attacks while they can, and try and rush our life total up as quick as possible. With the secondary play for their turn, they're going to go ahead and cast Grey Wolf. Grey Wolf has Pride 2, so it can attack, so just pretty much playing it and passing the turn. And we decide to go ahead and level up to level 2. So, shuffle it up. We always get a good shuffling because we always have our opponent pick, so I don't like to make a telegraph anything too much of it. Go up to level 2 Rye. Then our opponent goes and picks the 2 cards to our left, and we reveal a Disintegrate and a Power Overwhelming. Power Overwhelming hit does sort of hurt us a little bit because we really needed to go around, needed to hit level 11 now, since Reckless Conversion's gone. But we're going to go ahead and use our 3 enlightened counters to draw a card for the turn. See what else we have, and I think we do have the Dungeon Guide in hand. We're not sure about how we want to pitch our cards for it. Yep, here we go. We start placing the 3 cards down, and we go ahead and cast. Oh, Create a Shock, actually. So Create a Shock to draw some cards, get an enlightened counter because it's our first mage action for the turn. Go ahead and look in our hand, and we discard a Fireball. I think it's because we have another Disintegrate is in our hand off of that. We don't want to get rid of it, and a Careful Study, if not an Arcane card like an Arcane Blast. So we're sort of stuck with sort of sort of hand. But it sucks we had to get rid of a Fireball usually on, but I think I have enough kill spells early on to use it. And our opponent is going to go ahead and go to level 2. Go ahead and shuffle up their memory, place it down for us to pick. And we go ahead and pick both the end cards. We hit another Bedivere and Ember Song. The Ember Song is one that really caught me off guard. I didn't expect it. It made me really think about this list a little bit more. Wondering if they're running a Rhapsody list, something that might be really sneaking through damage. And I had to think about saying, okay, so maybe I really need to keep Solstice Arcane. There's a couple cards I might need in this matchup if Rhapsody is a thing. Our opponent for now go ahead and gets in with 2 damage as I think about the rest of the turn. Yeah, this entire time something okay. So there's an Ember Song, maybe for a buff counter. Get a little extra levels because they run the Victus card with Ember Song. It could give them levels, but again, this is really an interesting tech, which I don't know what to expect for. And they're going to go ahead and I think originally try and cast a Lynx and then decide not to. I say go ahead, roll it back. We are running Yeti event. I'm not too strict on the rules for it. And they're going to play a red slime. Only probably 2, so they can't activate it for attacks. And they go ahead and pass the turn from there, I'm pretty sure. The opponent's thinking a little bit. Yep, they're going to pass the turn. We get end the turn. We use our 3 counters to draw, see if we hit anything. Draw cards. Then we're starting to think if we have anything else we want to do, seeing what's in our memory, what we want to banish, and go ahead and banish 3 cards. Go ahead and banish our Arcane Disposition. I think another Power Overwhelming and an Anger of the Skies, if I'm not mistaken, which sort of sucks. It really slows down our game plan a little bit, but I think we have a couple ways to get around it if we need to. We're just trying to set up our combo turn in a sense. I mean, we're level 8, so we're allowed the Careful Studies for free, getting us up back to 6 counters. We have a couple extra draws if needed. I don't think I'm going to die this turn, so there isn't anything else that I really have to worry about. It's more trying to sculpt the hand forward, and we can go ahead and pass. Not under too much worry of dying, and our opponent is going to go ahead and cast their Silvie level 3. This is so they're going to go ahead and banish their Victus, their Cremation Ritual, and another Wolf, and they're going to go ahead and dig off the top for their Beast card. In this case, it is the only card that they can hit in the entire list, as I've started to notice. I noticed a couple of Red Slimes, Grey Wolf, Bears, pretty much a normal package, and some Resolute Stands, which don't matter too much to me. But I didn't see a single Rhapsody, so I'm not too worried, but there's the Veritas. So I know it's the Veritas list now going forward, and they have the Emerson. But there isn't anything hidden tech or any of the sorts when it comes down to, say, Rhapsody. Everyone's going to go ahead and shuffle up here. As they shuffle, like I said, we're going to stay here and try and figure out what's going to be the next best move for us. There isn't too much we can do. We can draw some cards with Resolute Stand, but I'm not too worried about damage or shit. I'm pretty much just drawing to fill the hand at one point. But our opponent is going to go ahead. They're going to get in as much damage as possible, which means that they are going to get their swings. So, opponent's going to go ahead, swing in Red Slime, get in 3 damage. And then they're going to swing in Bedivere, put us up to 7 damage. Oh, sorry, up to 9 damage, because 3 for Slime, 2 for Bedivere. And they're going to cast an Ordinary Bear, and then we're getting for another extra 2 to push us up to 11. Almost a little bit under halfway of our clock. So we'll go ahead and draw a card. We're going to leave our Catwoman up in case we need it to combo for Power Overwhelming. We're going to grab a GCR to draw. Do that. Crack for Recollection to draw again. And I don't think there's anything really found off of that. And we draw for turn. So I'm pretty sure we have Anger of this guy's our hand at this point. We go ahead and Careful Studies again, put us up to 9 counters. We go up to 9. Here's a couple options for draws if we need to, as well as setting up the Power Overwhelming turns to give us the 3 extra we need to level. But we're going to go ahead and pay 3. This might be actually an Arcane Disposition. I think I still have 1 left in my hand. At least I had 2 in the deck. I had 2 Anger this guy's in the deck. I'm sitting there trying to about what their cards do. And what they have, trying to remember what Veritas does. I did have to pause here for a second. Someone came in and talked to me. What happens when you're playing webcam games? Someone was asking a question. I just set down my cards just so they didn't think I was cheating. And we go ahead and cast, Anger of the Skies. We deal forward to all the allies clear the board, sets up the Veritas, which sort of sucks for us, but I think we had ways to deal with it needed. I realized the point's a little off on turns. They can't combo off or anything yet, so it isn't too big of a deal. We can go ahead and board wipe, slow down the damage a little bit, set ourselves up for another turn. We have Arcane Disposition in hand. I think another Careful Studies. We're thinking about casting. We have the 9 counters. Yep, we're going Careful Studies. We get ourselves up to 14 counters. And then we pass the turn. We have 1 card in hand. We can bluff a Resolute Stand if we need to. Opponent's going to go ahead and grab the Beasthorn Calling, which allows them to pretty much banish a card if they need to from their. They pretty much banish it, draw a card with class bonus, and also the next beast card that costs 1 less. So I see where the combo is sort of setting up for him. Except we're not too worried about dying this turn. There's too much happening. Our opponent's going to then work on setting up for the rest of their hand. They're going to try to figure out life totals, figure out what they can do for their hand. We did have to do a judge call because it was the class bonus draw, and I wasn't too familiar with the card, so we had to wait for the judge to make sure, like, hey, the draw is a banish effect, not an enter effect. Correct? So here we are getting the ruling for that. And the judge pretty much says, yes, the call is the banish is, words. The horn is a on banish draw a card effect, so it's not an effect that they can use on enter, so they can't say Veritas combo this turn if they wanted to. It would require a couple extra cards, so they are going to still use it. Pick up the cards, draw 1 for turn. Pretty much setting up, trying to figure out what they can do, try and push more damage as much as possible onto me. So as we're looking here, I'm realizing, okay, I got 4 cards in hand. I'm pretty sure I can combo off if I hit a couple of extra cards. We have about 3 or 4 different draws. And opponent goes, yep, we're going to pass the turn, so we're going to use 3 counters to draw. We're going down to 8 counters. Draw a card again. And we're going to draw 1 more, going down to 5. I was just trying to filter through our hand and try and set up everything we can to get the combo. I'm pretty sure we hit everything we need at this point. We just go ahead and sit there and say, okay, so we're comboing. We have everything we need for the combo. I figure out if we hit this, we do Arcane Decision, we hit a couple extra cards, and we could probably get there. How likely is it do we want to play, say, dangerously and just push for damage and have a chance to die next turn if we whiff? And I think I pretty much am doing the math like, okay, we have, if we crystal, we up to 10, we have Arcane Sight, 11, possibly gets up there. We have a Power Arm, can maybe do for 1 to get us up there for damage, for our level counters. So at this point, I'm just trying to do as much math as possible. And I think we go ahead and say Crystal of Empowerment. Yep, we get the Crystal. I'm pretty sure I say, okay, yeah, I have the combo. I can get there. So pick up our hand, pick up our memory, we recollect, we go ahead and look at the cards, we go, let's see what we can do. So we draw 1 more card to be safe, because I think I need it to combo off with the perfect amount of mana. And we go, alright, so we're going to Arcane Sight here. We get an extra level, we're now level 9. Draw our card. Go up to 3 Enlightened counters. We're going to go, okay, we are going to Arcane Sight again, draw another card. Go up in the level counter, we're now level 10. Draw a card. We can crack the crystal if we need to go up to level 12, which then we don't have to rely on a Power Overwhelming as a whole. So we do our math a little bit. We go ahead and cast Sky Skies. We do that for 12. We gain 2 extra level counters. So we go ahead, try 12 off the top, and at this point we're just sort of filtering through, okay, what's garbage? So what's like a dungeon guide? What's dead cards? And how do we set up the combo for lethal this turn? We're setting it up. We look through. I'm pretty sure we hit a dungeon guide, another Disintegrate, which we didn't need at this point. I think another Anger of the Skies, which we didn't need at this point. And a couple other cards. And then we hit Arcane Blast and Fireballs. That pretty much set up the entire combo. So here we are, getting rid of the cards we don't need, setting those aside. Like, all right, these are the junk cards. These are what we don't need on top. We don't need any of these to win the game. And I think we also hit, like, say, an Erratic Bolt and some other cards that just weren't overall needed. So we could pitch those since you no longer have a Reckless Conversion to just get rid of them. Yep, send them to the bottom, put the rest on top. We're going to draw our top card into memory. We're going to use our last 2 Enlightened counters to draw a card. I'm pretty sure the draw card was either an Arcane Bolt or something of the sort that's going to say us draw more yet. So Arcane Blast, sorry. So we set an Arcane Blast, 11, opponent's face. And then we are going to go ahead and cast another one, I'm pretty sure. So we Arcane Sight to draw again. Up to 5 encounters. I'm going to Arcane Blast again for 12. And then from here, we just say, okay, we have a Fireball. I'm pretty sure for a game. Yep, Fireball for a game. And the Silvie player is dead. 36 damage, and that is the end of game 1. So as we get into game 2, we did do a little bit of sideboarding. Just cut the sideboard portions out for the video length because these videos are already over an hour long raw. So we added in some Resolute stands. We added in Spellshoot Arcane and a piece of Reunion. I noticed there's an aggro deck. There wasn't anything combo-ish. I think I also added in Varuk just to be safe. Yeah, I added in Varuk. I cut in Increasing Dangers. I threw in my Resolute Stands and a piece of Reunion. I didn't need the Erratic Bolt. Our opponent goes and plays a Hasty Messenger. Nothing they can do with that this turn. And we're going to go ahead and take our turn. We draw our 8. So, draw 8. Look at the hand, try to figure out what we have here at this point. Alrighty. So, go ahead. Hand. I'm going to put, I think, 4 down here. We're going to try and Peaceful Reunion because all we have is Arcane. We don't have too much. We turn 1 Peaceful. Okay, we'll slow down the Hasty Messenger. We don't have anything else to do in our hand. So if we do this, we might be able to delay the game a little bit, delay their draw, try and get something going that we can prevent. As we go ahead, our pawns look through. Okay, we can't do that, right? We go, nope. So they banish their Ember Song. Ember Song goes to level 1. Draw. They go ahead and put down, I'm pretty sure, a Grey Wolf with a Beast counter. I mean, with a token. Buff counter, I should say. Yep, Grey Wolf gets a buff counter. 3/3 Wolf. They can't attack this one anyway. Can't use the Haste Messenger. And they're just going to go ahead and pass the turn. We go ahead and say, alright, let us level up to level 1. So we go ahead and shuffle up, look through our hand, check what we got, and we're going to level 1. Opponent's going to pick a card. They're going to pick the one closest to our deck. Confirm with them. They go ahead and banish Arcane Sight again. We collect the hand, draw for turn. Face Reunion gets banished as part of the casting cost of the card. We look through. Okay, well, I don't think it's got too much better, if I'm not mistaken. If anything, we might have Peaceful Reunion. I mean, not Peaceful Reunion, here in the main end. A pretty rough hand. It's a lot slower than I usually like to do with my right hands. We didn't have too many other draw options. But we just sort of try to make through what we had. And show up, we keep on looking, and I'm pretty sure we just say pass turn. Yep, pass the turn, which means I more likely have the Creative Shock in hand. Try to see what our opponent does, if anything's worthwhile out of it. We also Creative Shock to shoot something if we need to. They go ahead to level 2. Links, and another Ember Song goes away. I figure we're going to attack with Hasty. Trigger goes on the sec. We take 1 damage. Mate. Card. Go, okay. What else you got? Not enough to do anything just yet. Okay, I think 3 for Red Slime. If I'm not mistaken here. Somewhere the Grey Wolf first. Get in 2 damage. Up to 3. 3. Cremation Ritual on the Hasty Messenger to draw a couple of extra cards. They want to think about it, make sure that's exactly what they want to do. Yeah, we'll do it. And then go ahead and draw 2. So I'm pretty sure they, you're going to see a play come up here, but they had another Hasty Messenger. I'm pretty sure they already had the Hasty Messenger in hand, and they just used it for the fact that they can. Yep, they're going to put the 2 down they just drew. They're going to play a Hasty Messenger. For another 1, for no effect, and we're up to 4 damage total. At this point, we're trying to figure out what we have. We cracked GCR, which means we really had nothing in our hand. Crack GCR pre-buy collection. See what we have. Collect. Alright. Turn. Draw. Look at our hand. Still looking a little rough. This is not really the best hand we've ever had playing Rye. We're going to go ahead and Sky the Skies here. Sky the Skies for 1. Determine whether we want to do it or not. Peek through. I think we say, yeah, I guess. I mean, it doesn't really hurt the draw. Alright, if we banish it. Okay, we'll put it down there. We have 2 in there. We can go ahead and banish it now for level 2 Rye if we need to. And we're going to go ahead and pass the turn back. I'm going to take the opportunity. I'm going to look through. I'm pretty sure they're going to head and just grab the Horn. If I'm not mistaken here. One second, they're going to grab Chalice. So I see Chalice, like, okay, Here's the tithe prop. That's I pretty much tell my opponent, wait a minute, I have a response to the paying and the materialization and casting, and we're going to create a shock. Create a shock to draw R2. Look at our hand. We have a disintegrate, so we want to get rid of it. So we go ahead and get rid of. Oh, sorry, we get rid of one disintegrate because I said, all right, so we're not getting through anything anytime soon. So getting rid of disintegrate doesn't hinder us too much because we're not comboing off as much anymore. Tithe block isn't too much of a concern. Opponent looks at their hand. They go, okay, that's fine. We did shoot the haste messenger to limit their draw a little bit. We didn't shoot face. This is mostly because I knew I had a slow hand anyway, so the 2 to face didn't matter too much. Trying to slow the bleeding down as much as possible is the main benefit. So we go up to 6. Look at the rest of our hand. Yeah, we don't got anything else to really do here. No response, no resolute stand, anything of the sort. So our opponent is going to go ahead and I'm pretty sure he's placed down a slime. Nope, they placed down the Owl Familiar. They're going to glimpse the top 2 of the deck, see what they want to keep, if anything. I think they pitch both, not pitch one, keep one. I mostly have to see to double check. Opponent keeps on looking. Then they are going to go ahead and pitch both of them to the bottom of their deck. And then they're going to get in for the extra 1 damage. Okay. Yep. Damage you got there. It's up to 7. And at that point, I'm pretty sure from here they go ahead and pass the turn. So this way things looking pretty bleak. We're just now going to hit level 2 Rye. We sort of want to hopefully hit a dungeon guide. Get level 3 so we can start clearing the board, doing a little bit, anything extra that we can do at this point. And go ahead to go to level 2. We have our opponent pick the 2 cards that we discard for level up. Pick the 2 left. We hit a Evan as a Storm Caller in another Arcane Sight. And from here we go, okay, pick them up. Draw a card for turn. We sort of start getting a dice at one point to keep track of how many cards you draw because now, there's crystal, so we're going to Sky the Skies. Our opponent from here has a response. They're going to go ahead and crack the Quicksilver Grail. And they're going to summon their Tithe Proc, and they get to draw, and they get to banish their Shield Mate to cast for it. I am going to go up in a lane counter up to 3, and we get this Scry 2. Scryer 2, look at the top 2. Go, anything we want. Looking at the hand, trying to determine 100% what we want to do. Is this anything like, okay, what do we got here? What can we, anything that we can find off of it? Okay, well, I think one of them is an arcane card, another one is another setup card. And I think we still decide to keep both. So this one, put one on top. We grab a dice to keep track of our tithe counter. So we're at 2 cards drawn because we draw 1 in the hand and drew 1 in the memory. We have 1 card, we have 1 more draw left. I think from here we pay, I'm pretty sure 3, if not 4. Let's see what we do here. We're going to pay, looks like 4. Yep, pay 4. Nope, not that one. That one. And we're going to Peace Reunion again. Slow down the bleeding a little bit. Just so we get more arcane cards in our pitch zone, in our memory, so we can banish them to pass the turn. Pass turn, Peace Reunion's on the field, opponent can attack. They're going to grab Beast Bond Ears. And they're going to pick up everything, and they're going to look through their hand and try to figure out what they want to do at this point. From here, our opponent is pretty much ahead. They have a little bit more of a card advantage. They are level 2 though, same as us. But we're bricking sort of hard, and their opponent's definitely setting up their board presence and trying to get as much damage as possible on board. And yep, Dungeon Guy, they're going up to level 3. They had the Dungeon Guy and we didn't, which hurts us a little bit. There's not much we can do about that. So opponent has this picks one. You pretty much say keep the one closest to your deck, banish I2, which is going to be a Bedivere and Beastful Frenzy, which sort of helps in terms of Beastful Frenzy. A little bit less damage when it comes to that attack. Go ahead and start revealing now. So they hit Veritas, and they want to get Veritas into hand. So what we're seeing, if anything new came in the sideboard, so far we're not seeing anything extra. Everything's been sort of the same of what we witnessed before. I'm not sure if the owls, I can't remember if the owls are in the main board or not. But anyway, they hit Veritas. They're going to pull this in, and they're going to start setting up their hands for the future turns. We go, okay, well, what we're going to do is, I guess we're going to pay a counter to draw. We're going to recollect because that ends the turn. We're going to go ahead and level through ourselves, try and get the board clears and a couple other things so we can set ourselves up to try and combo off on another turn. Go ahead, have our opponent pick one. Opponent, I think, determines to pick like 3, 4, 5 or something like that. 1, 2. So they pick 4, 5, 6. And they go ahead and get rid of a fireball, a resolute stand, and looks like one other card. I think it's an angle disguise. Cane sight. So we only have 4 in here, which sucks. We're only level 7. Slows down the game plan a little bit if you wanted the combo, but I'm gonna recollect, draw cards. Got 1 draw for the turn. I'm just trying to figure out, okay, what do we do here? What do we do? What can we do to try and stabilize? What gets us out of this? And a little rough, but looks like the first thing we are going to try to do, I guess we can disintegrate Tithe Rock. If we're at 7, play 1, disintegrate Tithe. Tithe Rock is going to go away. We can start drawing cards if we wanted to. We get R1 light counter for the turn. And I think we have an Arcane Disposition in hand, which is what we're setting up for. Hope we determine to pass the turn. We just want to get rid of the Tithe Rock to get it off the board so we can set ourselves up later if we do otherwise. We're going to go ahead and get the new Proxy's Vault card, which is the Stoneband item. Pay 1, and draw for turn. And from here, they're going to start setting up some pretty heavy damage. We're going to take a couple different swings. Not much we can do. We have a Spellscrew Arcane in hand, I'm pretty sure. I'm not going to use it for the smaller units. It wasn't really setting us up too much as a whole to get rid of anything. So what's going to happen is that our opponent's going to go ahead and put down 3. I'm pretty sure they summon a red slime here. Let's see what they do. Yep, they go ahead and play a red slime. They have a pretty big board at this point. Pretty much setting up everything to pretty much devastate us. This point, it's really going to hurt. So they're going to start swinging in for a bunch of damage. Swinging Dungeon Guide, Owl, the Wolf, the Red Slime. This push, I think, up to like 15, if not 17 damage. 12, 14. Finish up the 14. We're pretty close to dying. Like one more swing through is gonna pretty much like destroy us. And we're just one swing away. We have to try and stabilize as much as possible. See what we can do to clear the board. Everything that's a part of it. So our opponent's going to go ahead and stitch a resolute stand here, create a shock, and they're going to pass the turn. We're going to go ahead and look through. I'm pretty sure we got Fire Bobble. We just need draws. We need to try and hit something to combo off here at this point, because we know if we don't combo off or hit something to keep us alive, we're pretty much lose the game at that point. So look at what we have in here. Trying to figure out if anything's worth it. Put that back. I think originally it was a crystal. We said, alright, we can't combo off this. So crack the bubble. Draw. Turn. Look at our hand. Nothing to cast off of recollect. Turn. Draw for turn. Here, I think I start asking questions about how much damage Veritas is, asking what Veritas does, because we have to go, okay, are we just going to start comboing and everything like that. So what's sort of going to happen is that we start doing math. Put cards down, put them aside, and like, right, what do we have? What can we draw? What can we do? Yada, 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 trying to figure out what we can. I think at this point, I do have a double Arcane Blast and Arcane Dissipation. I'm trying to figure out, okay, how can I combo off to get the win this turn? Like, I don't have too many dead draws. It would pretty much be another Fireball, another Arcane Blast, anything like that could really get me there. So, first things first, I did put down a Creative Shock, which is probably the worst thing that happened to me in this entire portion here. I put down, so I put an Arcane Decision, had a Creative Shock somewhere in hand. If not this, so it's off the pier in the mana. It's gonna come up, and if I didn't put the Creative Shock down, I probably had a victory. That was the worst part about it. So we Arcane Dissipate up to 2 Enlightened counters. Draw our 3 cards. We go, okay, now what? So we keep on looking through, trying to determine what we have. This is where the heavy decision comes through, how we're going to cast and play, because I also had a Piece of Reunion. Okay, yep. And a Piano Mana, I go, okay, I'm going to Piece of Reunion, discard Radical. So it isn't this turn, actually, it's the next turn where I mess up. But Piece of Reunion, stabilize an extra turn, go, okay. We're pretty sure we have enough cards to more on average combo off. All we have to do is hit our level and we can just combo off for the turn. Our opponent can attack us, they don't have anything else that's going to deal any damage to us as a whole. So it pretty much works out in our favor overall. So our opponent is going to go ahead, figure out what they want to get, look through everything else, and they're going to switch my banish because they're going to get the horn. We banish guards, avoid the squirrels. They have the horn. They have sort of mostly their main combo here, ready to go. As we're just like, okay, you can just try and win next turn. That's the best that we can do. So I'm pretty sure if I didn't piece region, I would have been dead on this turn. So opponent just passes. We get rid of piece region, goes to banish zone. Summon our crystal. We go, okay, we could probably combo off here. On average, we have enough cards in hand, everything else. So draw. We have an Arcane Sight in hand, Power Overwhelming, a couple other cards. So yep, an Arcane Sight, and a level, Arcane, and a counter, draw a card. Perfect. We're level 8 now. So 3 more levels, we can start casting Arcane Blast for free. Look, trying to figure out what else we can do. We didn't hit another Arcane Sight. And at this point, it's all just trying to figure out the line as quick as possible. Like, okay, what can we do? So we're going to pay 2. Pretty sure, oh, sorry, pay 3. This is another Arcane decision. If not, I know we don't cast another Creative Shock, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure now, yeah, so we're going to draw after, see if we hit what we need, see if something came up better, something that could really help us for the turn. And we go, okay, I think we get there. So we hit Crystal Empowerment, 10 counters. We have, I think, Appear in the mana that put us up a bunch of counters. We can Power Overwhelming for 1. We'd get what we need. So this is where we're determining what we want to put down, how we want to combo off. We go, okay, we're going to put 4. This is where the Creative Shock or Peace Reunion is in there. I shouldn't have. We Appear in the mana. So to start, we could combo off this turn. I go, okay. So we hit 12 counters. We're down 9 because we're going to draw a card right off the rip. Here I am trying to figure out where my 9 is on my dice, and I realize I got the D8 instead of the D10. Swap the other round. Draw a card for the turn. Draw a card off of that. I'm feeling pretty good about our spot right now. As an overall standpoint, we start looking. We go, okay, we can Power Overwhelming for 1. Put us up to level 11. Then from there, we can go ahead and class Arcane Blast. Put our opponent up to 11. If we have another one in hand, double Arcane Blast, put them up to 22. And then we sputtered. We go, okay, so we're going to draw. We have enough cards, draw a card. We have so many hits we can hit. That's all we need to do. Stick. We get on the 2 because we're at 5 counters then. Another one, I'm like, oh, we really just whiffed. We whiffed everything that was possibly able to whiff on that entire hand. Here we are sitting like, oh, we really kept the Creative Shock we paid. We could have drawn more. We could have done a lot more. Now we're sitting trying to figure out, okay, well, what can we do to get ourselves out of this? Now, I have Anger this guy's in hand, and I'm really saying, like, do I just Anger this guy? Do I wipe the board? Like, they can't Veritas. They don't have enough levels. And I'm thinking, okay, well, yeah, I guess we can mostly just Anger this guy's clear board, and hopefully that pays us off for an extra turn to, stabilize and get where we need to do overall. And as we're sitting here looking, we're going, alrighty, really, really taking our time into the think tank on this one. And so what you got to do in these control mirrors. I didn't mean to say mirrors. Oops, not mirrors. This is more of a matchup as a whole. So I'm just really trying to figure out my line here to stay alive because I know next time I'm dead if I don't do anything. Like I know I have the Veritas. I'm like trying to do math. I'm like, this is going to really buff everything else on the board. It's going to really, damage everything else as a whole. So I'm counting on my counters I have. I'm thinking, okay, then we get a big buff here. Buff pretty big. They're just swinging for lethal. Like Veritas is just lethal on board. I'm like, all right, well they can't cast Veritas. In my head, that was the mistake. That was the mistake. I'm like, yeah, they can't cast Veritas. Like cast Veritas doesn't matter now on Pride Time. I'm fine to go with this, right? Thinking to myself, and I go, all right, well I guess I just rip it. Like I don't have anything else to do. I just gotta rip it. And I go ahead, lay down my 3. I just go, all right, face down, anger this guy. Just wipe the board. So Wipe the board. Nothing else really happens with it. Okay. Try and stabilize off that. We lose our level counters, which sucks. I'm like, if we get another turn, maybe. Maybe we have a create a shock, so we can get one more turn. We might be able to stabilize out of this. They drive a terra freeing, which is whatever for us. Before. We don't attack, not too big of a deal. And our opponent decides to look at their hand, figure out what they have, and they're still in the recollection phase at this point. And off of their recollect, they are going to sit there and pretty much say, all right, let me look, let's see what we have. I think I just get to, so they're going to activate the horn. Next piece they have costs 3 less, and they go ahead and draw a card off of that. They get the card draw, and they're going to go ahead and also, I think, crack their stone band. So yeah, I think they're still thinking, seeing how they combo off with it. It's all still pre-recollect, so they're going to pay their one, activate stone, and they could cast allies at fast speed activation, and from there the opponent's still figuring out the hand a little bit, and they're going to go ahead and cast. They are going to cast Veritas here. I think a big buff. I'm starting to think to myself, looking at my hand, I'm like, yeah, this is fine. Like I don't really have an issue with this. There's not much that can happen with it, so I'm a little confused on what's going on. Yeah, sure. Oh, sorry. Actually, they create a shock. They don't Veritas yet. Create a shock first. Discard Bedivere to get another counter. And they just recollect. So I'm not really sure why they did the fast activation there. Did pay one, cast Veritas. I'm like, yep, that's fine. Not really too much happening. Like, sure, you get your counters. Then they go Avatar. Now I forgot. Oh yeah, that's the card. It loses pride, and they play the scrolls. And yeah, Veritas is big. So I think 8 was already lethal. And then on top of everything else that they're doing, like this swing was just lethal as a whole. I said, yep, that's pretty much what's going to get you there. But yeah, just lethal. Scoop them up. Pretty much go on to the next game at that point. Yep. So once again, I didn't change anything else sideboard. I was happy with everything I had, and we're gonna head here and start game 3. So game 3 starting, we get to go first, and we're gonna do the usual fire thing. I'm pretty sure I just say pass. There's not much we can do. Look and go, yep, pass the turn. Shocking. Woo. Fire gameplay. Pass the turn. Going to go take theirs. I think they also just pass. So they're going to also just pass. And from that pass, we're going to go, okay. Yep. We're going to create a shock. Shocking. Yep. We go ahead. Pass create a shock. Like I said, shocking. We draw 2. We look. I think at this point, there wasn't too much for us to discard. I think this is when we discarded Careful Studies. I could be wrong. Yep. Careful Studies is discarded. There's too many other cards I wanted in my hand. I think we had arcane cards that we needed to combo off for the turn. So we would have our opponent pick one. We'll level up. Pick the left one. We get rid of an arcane type again. We're just really lucky. Our opponent really likes to pick arcane type. We go to draw. Draw for the turn. See what else we have. I think we have a Peer in the Mana here that we use. I think we pretty much terrible level up to level 3 as expected and as you want to do with Rye. So we go ahead. So keep a peek on what's in our hand. Look, we go ahead and pay our, I think, 4, 3. All right, so actually cast Varrook. So Varrook came in time because I didn't know what to expect. Like I'm thinking something to do prevent damage, prevent fire damage. I'm like, okay, it just comes in, but it's also worked out because I'm pretty sure our hand was full of arcane cards, and it's really let us put the arcane cards down cast. So it was sort of it really came in clutch afterwards. I mean, Albert really cut. I think was an increasing dangerous for it, so it wasn't too much I had to worry. Cutting there wasn't too much. I say per se. So as our opponent goes through, they're going to cast their own creative shock. Again, this is just peak fire gameplay right here. There isn't too much, you know. So they go ahead and cast their own. They discard their Scavenging Raccoon, which doesn't matter too much because you don't run any floating memory or anything like that to be used. And they're going to go up to level 1 Sylvie. We're going to have them pick, they have us pick a card. We tell them to pick the middle, and they get rid of a Beastal Frenzy. One is going to draw. And there isn't, I don't think there's anything that really comes down. I think there's a Lynx that comes down. It's not a Bedivere. It's going to come down that deals some damage, but it's not too much that I worry about early on. It's just sort of how it comes down. Yep, Bedivere comes down, gets a +1 counter. It's a 2/5 taunter. Again, not much we care about playing Rye because you don't swing into it, and we go ahead and take 2 for the turn. and opponent just passes. So we're going to go ahead and take our turn. Here we're going to level up to level 2 Rye. Have our opponent pick a card. We sacrifice Varuk after. This materialization goes through because of the upkeep trigger. They're going to banish the other two, have us keep the center. We get rid of Anger of this guy's and add Stormcaller. Another couple of good hits for us. Nothing to care too much about. And we take our turn. Like I said, we had to discard Varuk because of leveling up Rye. I should say because we materialized when leveling up Rye, but we didn't materialize. And then from there, we go ahead and look. I'm pretty sure we might just pass the turn. Oh no, we dungeon guide. We definitely dungeon guide here. Nothing else. Nothing else Rye likes to do more than dungeon guide level 2. So we place 3 down. We go dungeon guide. Dungeon guide. Have a couple cards our opponent picks. I think we discard 1 non-arcane here. 3. And our opponent goes ahead. Oh, sorry. So we hit our arcane site, and I think we hit double arcane site. Those all 3 of our arcane sites gone, which is a little rough. Or an arcane blast maybe. Sorry, arcane blast. Which is a little rough, but it's fine. We're gonna get our 1 damage in, and we pass the turn. We only have 2 cards now, but it's fine. We can draw. I'm not under too much pressure dying this turn. Like the whole thing is Veritas, and it's not enough for me to worry about just yet. I can't recoup. So our opponent levels, give her a cremation ritual and an ember song. They're going to level up themselves. They go up to level 2. Draw for turn. And they untap Bedivere. And they're going to swing back in for 3 damage, put us up to 4. And the opponent's trying to think of the next turn. I think from here they put down a red slime. Looks like they're paying 3. Means more than likely a red slime, if not a creative shot. I could still do a Lynx too, but I haven't really seen the Lynx this game, which is really thankful for us, because the Lynx really gets doing a whole bunch of damage, especially early on. It does a 3 flat. Sometimes 4 if it has the level 1 Silvie buff counter on it. The opponent's going to go ahead and go through, take a peek at the rest of their hand. They're going to pay 3. Still a little bit of thought decision coming down, because it's really got to figure out the best way to chain this off. They're going to pay 3, and they're going to go red slime. Can't attack us, so I'm too much to worry about with that. And they pretty sure pass the turn right here. Yep, pass the turn. Look at our memory. Look at our hand a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and materialize the GCR. GCR is going to let us go back for recollection to draw a card. Draw. Hand. Recollect. Card for turn. We didn't hit Peaceful Reunion yet. We did. Big of a deal. It's why we swing in. Peaceful Reunion. We get in for 1 damage. 2. Then from here, I think we just pass the turn. I don't think there's too much else for us to do. 4 cards in hand. We need another turn to to refill our hand a little bit. And yep, we're going to pass the turn. Our opponent is going to go ahead and go up to level 3 Silvie, get rid of an Ember Song, a Veritas, and a Lynx. So they're going to trigger. And this is what really stinks for our opponent. Our opponent really dug through most of their deck for this. They pretty much go through half the deck. Like there's 1 avatar. They keep on digging non-stop. Like I'm pretty sure get through half the deck before they get to the first Veritas. Like they pretty much hit, I think, their 2nd avatar Gaia. Yep, there's the 2nd one. If they hit 1 more, they're out of avatars. Still digging. Still trying to find it. Hit the 3rd avatar. I'm like, okay, well, avatar guy is not in play anymore. Keep on digging. Like I said, they're near the bottom of the deck at this point, and I think like 2 more, they finally hit their Veritas. Yep, hit their Veritas. And it's like, okay, well, avatar guy is gone. They have about like 5+ cards, if not more, on top of their deck. Like, oh, we're chill. We're in a really good spot for us right now. Like I'm not too worried about dying just yet. I mean, the buff counters do come into play, but I'm not too worried. So we're going to go ahead and see what's next. And they are going to go ahead and try and talk about how they have to rethink their whole entire game plan because everything's sort of changed at this point because of 1. So our switch they swing for 3. They kill the dungeon guide with their slime. It's fine. Retaliate doesn't do anything. Actually, not even retaliate. Sorry, it's top. In there for another 2. Put us up to 6. That I think came back and hurt my opponent after because they were pretty close to killing me. If they got him with that extra 3, I think it could have changed like the whole game for him. They're going to play mages. How familiar? Bumps their 2. Put the cards back on top and swing in there for an extra 1 damage. 1 out to 7. Pass the turn. And our opponent is going to. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to get Fire Bubble, crack for recollect, draw. That's why, what did I say? We're just filling our hand as much as possible. Look through, we go, okay. Cards, draw again for turn. I think we're chilling a little bit. I think we need one more turn for lethal, which is not 2 turns. We're getting there pretty close. So we're looking through. I think we're on our Arcane Disposition here. Try and draw some extra cards. Try and hit as much as possible to fill up the entire hand. Our opponent is going to. Let's see, we're thinking about it. Taking our time. Yep, we're going to Arcane Disposition, draw 3 cards. I think at this point we're just trying to calculate if we could pay our entire hand down, so we don't really have to discard anything. So we draw our 3. We get our lightning counter up to 3 as well. We can draw a card off that if need be. We're going to go ahead and look. Our opponent does adjust their cam a little bit, which is fine. So see the entire board state. Over here, we're going to go ahead and Careful Studies, get us 5 more counters. And I think we use 1 already to, I think we used 3 of them already to draw. Yep, we pay 3. Draw a card off the top of our deck. Pretty much just trying to find anything else that really helps us set up for our next turn win con. And our opponent still sort of trying to figure out their own gameplay now after our guy are gone. So we I think pay 4 here for either. I think a Careful Studies. Not a peaceful. I'm pretty sure a Careful Studies. Still doing math, trying to figure out what might be the best line of option if we could still get the win. Obviously bet off this playing the delay game as much as possible. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I had Peace Reunion and Appear in the Mana. I almost threw the game by playing the Appear in the Mana. I was going to find out later on, but okay, Arcane Disposition, still doing math. Decided to pay the Appear in the Mana into for this Arcane Disposition. I'm not paying, pay the Peace Reunion for the Arcane Disposition, putting that down into our memory. 2 to 3 cards. Draw 1 more off of our Enlightened counters, get us up to 4. Pay our 4 for Appear in the Mana, and restack our counters, knowing I have a pretty good hand at this point to get us through into a victory on our next turn. So at this point, we're going to go ahead, pass the turn. We have 12 counters, not much else we can do. No point drawing 2 extra cards. I don't think there's anything much is going to get us there. We know we have a couple of fireballs in our hand to get us next turn to deal at least 8 plus at least 9 damage. So deal another 18 and put them up to 20. Or there's a couple extra levels that we can just combo off of the turn. Opponent decides to look through their hand. Neutralization deck. I'm pretty sure they were thinking about getting a tithe, but I think the other wasn't worth it at that point, especially because I already drew all the cards. So go ahead and get the Horn. The Horn from is going to buff damage a little bit across the board for the Veritas. The Veritas are basically free, as they are going to go ahead and need to think about cracking the Horn here. It's a decent amount of damage they have to calculate through because they know, especially they know they're dead next turn if they don't do anything about it. So they're going to go ahead and look through. They're going to crack the Horn. Beast costs the next beast that costs 1 less, and they're going to go ahead and pay 3. It looks like before we collect for Create a Shock. Yeah. Put down Red Slime. Discard that. They're going to recollect for turn. Draw. Just still trying to figure out their hand a little bit more. They decide to go ahead and cast. I think they're going to cast Veritas here. Yep, they pay the 1. Oh, maybe not. They're still trying to do math. They're reading what Beast Horn does again to make sure they're doing the spells and everything else properly. They're going to pay 1. And they're going to Owl Familiar, Glimpse 2. See anything else on the top to get some next turn up. They're going to ditch him automatically. And just trying to set up the board as much as possible. Then they pay 1 more. Put the card off the Horn, and they're going to cast Veritas, buffing the board. I think the board gets buffed like 1 damage, 2 damage. So I think it's +2. Veritas can attack. They know that after guys are near the bottom of their deck. So this comes in for, I think, 4 damage. Goes up to 11. Slime goes in for 5, puts up to 16. Maybe for another 3 to push up to 19. Then another familiar going to push up to 22. And at that point, they go, yep, that's pretty much all we can do. Pass the turn. We're going to use some of our counters here now to draw cards. If there's anything else that we can really just filter up for our combo for the turn. We go down. I think we go down to 3 counters, or we leave at 6. All right, left at 6. We decide to go ahead and materialize a Crystal of Empowerment at this point. Double checking our hand, thinking, okay, if we do this in level, like, do we have lethal on turn? I'm pretty sure I'm seeing the fireballs in my hand and go, okay, yeah, we have lethal. Like, if we do Crystal Empowerment, get a 10, it'd be power if we have power overwhelming, which I think we do at this point. Use all of our enlightened counters to power overwhelming for an extra total 8 extra levels. We get to level 16, and our fireballs is deal 17. Like, 2 fireballs is lethal at this point of the game. So we're just going to make sure we're doing our math properly. We don't want to throw the game. And as we're looking, determining, make sure that is the proper line of play. I'm pretty sure I just see the other fireball go, yeah, okay, we got this. This is lethal. So we're going to go ahead and draw for turn. We're going to crack the crystal, gain 2 extra levels. Level 10. And then I'm pretty sure we power overwhelming here. So we're doing our line properly. I think at this point I'm just doing math in my head. Like, okay, so if I power overwhelming, do these, do this, make sure I just had enough cards in my hand and I didn't miscount, because I do have the issue with this game where I'm like, oh yeah, I have enough, and then after I cast a card, oh wait a minute, I'm 1 card actually short because I wasn't counting for the card I'm casting. Yep, so we're going to power overwhelming here. We're going to pretty much use 5 counters. I think at that point, yeah, just a lot. A lot of our counters. Oh, yep, use 6 of them. We're now level 16. We pay, make sure, like I said, double checking my hand, make sure I have lethal. And at this point, we pretty much just say, pay Arcane Blast for 11. See what else we had, and then we knew we had the fireball in hand. Make sure we had the math right for the fireball, which we did, and we fireball in face for dead. And yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. That is, we take pretty much the match 2-1 over Silvie. It was a pretty good match overall. But yeah, I did end up recording one more match of this, but we ended up dropping the VOD because the VOD wasn't all that good quality. So yeah, like I said, thank you guys for watching this gameplay. If you guys like to see more, make sure to go ahead and hit the like button down below. Any suggestions you want for these videos, feel free to let me know and put it in the comment section so I know how to improve or what else you guys might like to see going forward. And like I said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Keep an eye out on the channel. We are going to be doing a giveaway at one point soon. But like I said, keep an eye out there, and yeah, see you next time. Peace.